Greetings, Internet, and welcome back to another episode of Putting Shells on Shelves. No, not putting shells on shelves. Putting shells on shelves. That's right, the show where yours truly has a collection of action figures and he likes to talk about them because it's a thing to do. Okay. So, without further delay, I'm sure y'all have seen the title wherever it is down below. And you know exactly which figures are coming, or at least you know what they're called. So I should also preface this. I don't know if I put in the title, but these guys are Wave 1 of the Mutant Military Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. There were 2 waves, and by some miracle I happen to have both waves of these figures. The second one is a lot harder to get than the first one, for varying reasons. So with that said, I'm going to do my usual, or at least my new usual. I'm just going to close my eyes, grab one at random. Let's see, who do we have here? Ah! Midshipman Michelangelo. Now these figures, I feel that I've been saying this a lot with the Ninja Turtles figures that I've been showing off, but I really like these guys. I will say, when I was a little kid, my brother had a collection of these things, these Ninja Turtle figures, and Midshipman Michelangelo, the one that he had, was always my favorite. I don't know why, I think it was because I was a big fan of Popeye back then, and I could just imagine this figure being like, talking like Popeye, because he looks very slightly like Popeye, and by very slightly I mean not at all. Anyway, I loved this figure when I was a kid. Not this exact one. That one went somewhere years ago and I've never seen it since. But I've just always loved the look, this particular look of this figure. Now the one my brother had none of the original accessories that I'm currently aware of. From what I know, he just had the figure. He didn't have the little flag that came with him, didn't have the big duffel bag or the oar that came with him, didn't have the little bird buddy that came with him. But this guy was a favorite of mine, and when I finally got another one, and I actually got one with the accessories, it was nostalgia overload for me. I was so glad to have one in my collection. And not just because, as I've mentioned multiple times, I'm going for a complete set, but because I just really like this figure. I mean, look at him. What's not to like? He's got fish all over him that are also wearing eye patches like he is. He's got barnacles growing on him for some reason. I guess he's been living underneath the ship. And just the whole ship person... now don't laugh, the whole seaman aesthetic that he's got going on, and like I said, don't laugh, not that kind of that, you perverts. I'm talking about, like, actual out at sea personnel. All 4 of these figures came with these flags originally. Unfortunately with mine, not all of them have them, and you'll see that coming up very shortly. Okay, so let's talk about the figure himself. So they did a good job with the paint aesthetics. For the most part, they got the flag and the stripes on his arms painted up. They got the fish, like he's got that yellow one poking out of the collar of his shirt. He's got those 2 orange ones over there, that purple one on the top of his hat, all colored in nicely. They got the majority of the barnacles on the front of the figure. Like, obviously, because there's so many, they had to skip a few to save costs on paint. And one place where they missed the mark with the paint horribly, well, I don't want to say horribly, extensively, was on the back, but that's kind of okay because it's covered up by the pack that he carries. Now onto the accessories. He's got this pipe upon which he has put a flag for the United States. He's got that backpack, which of all the times I've looked at this is the first time to my memory that I realized this. He's got a friggin' treasure chest stuck on the bottom there. It's probably pretty hard to tell because of the coloration of the plastic and my lighting, but it's there. It's this big chunk right here on the bottom. He's got the ore over here, upon which it seems that he's somehow managed to capture and then stick a piranha on there, which I think is kind of nice. It's reminiscent of those sticks with the biting creatures from the labyrinth. See, they're kind of like that. And of course, we've got his bird buddy, who I do not know the name of right now, but he's got like a pistol or some kind of gun right there. And he's just kind of making finger guns with the other hand. Before I get any further, I'm going to look up his little buddy character, because I want to know. No, I mean it. I want to know, what is that little character's name? What is his phrase, is what I was going to say. Alright, the Midshipman Mike. Okay, it's not named. It's just called the Sewer Seagull. Hold on, let me look through the description that would have been on the box and see if it's named there. No ship is safe from sinking in the sewers without Midshipman Mike. He's the salty sewer sailor who can swim, swashbuckle, and swap the deck, all without getting his duds dirty. This briny battle boy is ready for high sea adventure. Mikey will paddle the punks and send them all straight to Davy Jones's locker. Yes, the waterways will always be sewer safe as long as Midshipman Mike's on deck. So ahoy, you mutant mateys, and don't make waves, make way for Midshipman Mike. I was expecting it to say Midshipman Mikey. Midshipman Mikey. Okay, so yeah, it's a Sewer Seagull. I honest to goodness thought that they would have named it. Because, I mean, look at the detail, the work they put into actually making this thing look cool. It's making it a character. And they just called it the Sewer Seagull. So much potential for naming. Oh well. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and all other configurations of being, that's been Midshipman Michelangelo. Okay, reaching across the table here, after I put him down, and picking up another character at random. There's only 4 left. You know what that means. Here we go. Raphael the Green Teen Beret. So, with this figure, he's got like the Green Beret aesthetic going on. He's got camouflage painted over the majority of his self, which I think that was actually a really good touch, that they were willing to go that extra mile for that. And I just realized that his legs are a little bit wobbly, which probably means that he's not long before his legs break. But I will proudly put him on display until that time comes. Then I will super glue his pelvis back into place, and then I will continue to display him, because that's what I do. When a toy breaks, I don't give up on it. I friggin' fix it if I have the ability, and I put it right back on display. Which leads me into another series that I've been kind of toying with, tish, my repair series, which if you see this video link right here, I've already done one video on. I'm sure not a lot of you are going to be very interested in that particular episode, but it's there, it's the start of this thing. We'll see where it goes. Anyway, the main aesthetic that he has, obviously, is a green beret, and the character that he reminds me of the most is that general from the Rambo movies, or the first couple of movies. I don't know how many he's in, but there's that one general that always had on his green beret, and he was always like, yelling at Rambo. That's who he reminds me of. Anyway, he's got all these different little details painted on. He's got the American flag on his shoulder there. He has his, I don't know what they're called, but he's got those things on his shoulders that show his rank, I believe. Then, of course, he's got his medals pinned onto his chest, and they actually took the time to paint them all different colors: red, gold, and blue. They went to the trouble of detailing the R on his belt. Seems like the only thing that they didn't really paint in was the USTF on his chest. Because, I mean, they painted it in right here on this knife on his leg. Trying to get the best angle I can on that. Okay, I see the USTF right there. And yet they just couldn't be bothered to do that on his chest right here, which is invisible in my lighting, just about. I really like the sculpting on this guy. So with Raphael here, this is, if you remember me talking about Michelangelo not just a few minutes ago, he is the only one of the figures I have that is missing his flag accessory. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. He's also missing most of his other accessories. At the moment, all I have for him is this plunger gun thingy, and his sidekick, which is literally just an angry bulldog, who is, I'm not going to show it on camera, but he's male. It's very clear that that he's a boy. And the little side character he's got with him also has a fair bit of detail. I'm going to cover up that spot because I don't want to get, when I do get to, if I do wind up getting enough subscribers to actually become monetized, or... Anyway, I don't want this video getting flagged. That's what I'm trying to say here. But he's got this really grumpy face going on. He's got this cool camo jacket with a belt kind of thing going on. He's got his collar. Very nice aesthetic. It actually kind of reminds me of the Mug Root Beer Bulldog. Anyway, so there's not really a whole lot to talk about with Raphael here. At least nothing really that comes to mind for me, beyond what I've just spoken of course. Because he doesn't really have like a unique expression that's literally his 88 counterpart. Only, with the connecting the two, the smirks on the sides with that little strip in the middle there. So yeah, that's been Raphael the Green Teen Beret. We'll put him and his inappropriate dog over here with Midshipman Michelangelo. Now there's only 3 figures left on the table. Yes, that's right, 4 brothers, 5 figures on the table. You can figure it out. So, of the 3 that are still on the table, just eyes closed, we're going to take a look next at Pro Pilot Donatello. So, with Pro Pilot Donnie here, obviously he's supposed to be a pilot. He comes with this parachute that attaches to his parachute pack. He comes with his helmet, which is in fact removable, evidenced by the fact that I'm removing it right now, even though that was off screen, which comes with like this gas mask hose on the front of it. He also comes with a plane gun thingy. It's like a paper airplane, but they gave it a handle with a trigger. So, I don't know. And yeah, that's about it for his accessories. Sorry, I kind of went all William Shatner on you for a second there. And my voice is starting to go. Isn't that fantastic? Although it's giving me a very nice, rich undertone. Very reminiscent of another character that I play on this channel, if you could guess. By the way, mark your calendars, because that's coming back real soon. So anyway, he's got his US flag on a stick, or on a sewer pipe, I should say. And, of course, being Donatello, he's got his standard purple elbow and knee pads and bandana, although that's currently covered up by his helmet. I really like the sculpting on this guy, and this figure gets used for customs as being one of the Ghostbusters. Because, I mean, he's already got the jumpsuit and everything going, just takes a little bit of sculpting and detail work to turn that backpack into a proton pack. A couple other little pieces here and there, little custom detailed things. And I actually saw someone once who turned Midshipman Michelangelo into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. A very diminutive Stay Puft, but still, Stay Puft nonetheless. So the paint detailing, like most of his brothers, is actually fairly good on this Donatello. He's got the US flag painted on his arm, like the rest. He has the United States Turtle Force painted onto his chest, like the knife guard for that Raphael the Green Teen Beret. Although there's really not a whole lot more to talk about with him. Oh, I just realized he's got like a little Sony Walkman with like headphones and stuff. Let me try and see if I can position him in a way that y'all can see it. You see this box right here on his side? There's the headphones right there. Try and point him out without dropping him. Right there. He's got some other detailing. He's got like some shades over here. Like he's going to the highway to the danger zone. You can call it cringy if you want, but dang it, I try to entertain. So yeah, like his brethren, there's not really a whole lot to talk about with him. At least nothing I can really come up with. Apparently he finally got his wings that'll enable him to actually fly. You know, in the Air Force, you actually have to get your wings first before they'll let you up in the air. If you didn't know, now you know. And yeah, we'll just call that there. We'll kind of stop talking about him, and we'll move on to the next turtles. Thank you very much, Midshipman Donatello. And now we move on to the last figures on the table. Lieutenant Leonardo. Now, as you can see, Lieutenant Leonardo came stacked up with a whole bunch of accessories. He's got this one, which appears to be a bunch of books. No, wait, no. It's not books, it's pizza boxes. He's got his pizza box periscope thingy, which actually is supposed to go this way, and he would look in through those little holes at the bottom, and he would be able to see out this periscope at the top. He came with his American flag on a pipe. Came with a bomb that is actually labeled as a bomb, although I think they're supposed to be stink bombs canonically. And he came with this weird fishing rod golf club gun thing. It's just very weird and distracting looking, and if I didn't know that that was supposed to be a Ninja Turtle accessory, I would probably just pile that in with any other Playmates toy line. Now, when it comes to Lieutenant Leonardo, he's actually got some really cool stuff going on. He's got the stereotypical helmet with like the buckles undone on the side because he's just that badass. He's got the bandolier of bullets going around his chest. He's got his camouflage outfit going on. He's got his belt with his canteens and stuff. And of course, in standard Ninja Turtle fashion, he's got his elbow and knee pads on, even over top of his camouflage gear. That's going to get you shot, Leonardo. Someone's going to see that and then, pow! Blow your shell clean off. He's also got dog tags with his initial on them, although apparently they put 2 L's. I guess that's in case he loses one. He's got his standard military issue flashlight stuck in right there. He's got his vest with the same camouflage pattern as his pants and his helmet. Overall, he is just a pretty cool looking little action figure. Oh, and he's got grenades right there. Hopefully y'all can see them. And then, since that's really all there is to talk about with this Leonardo, we'll move right on to the last figure on the table, Lieutenant Leonardo. No, that's not me messing with you. I never actually put down the one I was holding before. We're moving into variant territory. Yes! So, with Lieutenant Leonardo, there's 1 or 2 different variants. I think there's only one. And that is, if you notice how this one has like this very light camouflage pattern going on, the variant has a far darker camouflage pattern going on. So anyway, as I was showing, he's got a far darker brown going on than his counterpart. And I will be honest with y'all, I don't remember right off the top of my head which one came first. Like, was it this darker one came first and then they added the lighter one in a later issue? Did this one come first and vice versa? I don't know. I have to do a bit more research on that. And according to several sources on the internet, the jury is still out on that one. Okay, so that has been the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Military Wave 1. I forgot to comment on his expression. It is also pretty cool. It's basically like if you took the Raphael expression and just had him open his mouth a little wider, and of course changed out the hat. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that you liked what you've seen here today. I do greatly appreciate each and every single one of you who has watched my videos thus far, subscribed or otherwise. You're awesome. And if you like what you've seen here today, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. Please feel free to hit that bell icon to be notified of future uploads once you are subscribed. You'll be glad you did. And if you feel obliged, go ahead and share my video with your friends. If you're not sure if they'll like them, share it anyway. You could be surprised. And with all of that hullabaloo out of the way, this is your old buddy Oxleymations saying, Cowabunga, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Later.